Otenu, Agama, Yiska, Babiako, Atakados, Shemeka, Quados, Baru, Shemeka, Lola, Mae, Shamu, Bene, Shab, Al Shabbat, La, So, Al Shabbat, Le Dora, Tambari, Ola, Beni, Bene, Bene, Shab, Otilona, Kisha, Shed, Masa, El Shaddai, Shemaim, where Ta'ala, Subayom, Masvi, Shabbat, Wainafash. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Shabbat, to observe the Shabbat throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever, that in 6 days the Most High did heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and ceased from his work. Baruch Shemeka, Baruch Yemeneka, Baruch Torateka, Baruch Kedushateka, El Shaddai Melech, El Shaddai Malach, El Shaddai Imlo, L'olam Ha'eh. Baruch Shem Kabol Malkuto L'olam Ha'eh. Baruch Kabol Elohim Min Kumo Melech Elyon. Aluhu L'olam Ha'eh. First of all, I'd like to give more honor and praise to the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, the great, mighty, revered God, the Most High God, who bestows love and kindness, possesses all things, who remembers the pious deeds of the patriarchs, the Most High, slow of anger, great in kindness, forgiving iniquity and transgressions, but who will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquities of fathers upon children to the third and fourth generation. The Most High's work is perfect for all his ways of justice, the God of faithfulness and without iniquity, just and right as he makes. Giving due respect and honor to a head in Israel, my father, Chief Eleazar, to the chief men, princes, brothers and sisters. I say unto the tongue of my forefathers, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom Lekah.
Khag Sukkot Shalom.
Khag Sukkot Shalom Lekah.
So, for those who don't know, Sukkot means tents or tabernacles, Feast of Tabernacles. And why do we observe this day? The reason why we observe this day is because God said we're supposed to memorialize times, make a remembrance of all the times and the things that the nation of Israel went through. Of all the times, these are times where God has proved the nation. Okay? Now, in commemoration, when the nation dwelt in tents, they dwelt in tents for how long? For 40 years. The whole time they was in the wilderness of Sinai. They dwelt in booths. And that's what we are commemorating. So I'm going to go over certain things. We're going into Numbers 25. But I'm going to go over certain things concerning the feast. The things that we can do on the feast. And there are things that we shouldn't be doing on the feast. Not because it's a feast means you can cook. You know why? Because according to what we read, it never said that you can cook. The only feast that is stated that you can cook is during the first and the last day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And I'm going to show you that with scriptures. With Numbers 25. Okay? Right now I'm going to Leviticus 23. Okay? It says, "Speak, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, The 15th day of this 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles of 7 days unto the Lord." So this feast is a 7-day feast. Okay? On the first day is a holy convocation. And on the 8th day, which is Shemini Azeret, is a holy convocation. On the first day and the 8th day. On the first day shall be a holy convocation. A holy convocation is a holy gathering. That's what a convocation is, a holy gathering. And when we don't observe these days according to the curriculum that God set, or that was according to the curriculum that we read, we sin before our God. We transgress. This is why it's very important to do things according to the way you read it. Because when you do things your way, it's not according to what God said. We as a people continue to do things to our liking. We do things according to our liking and what fits us. Okay? According to our mentality and how we think. This is why it's very important to change your ways according to the ways of God. Change the way you think. Change who you are. But before change starts, you have to recognize that I am faulty. I have to recognize that I need to change so that God can accept me. Okay? On the first day shall be a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work. Servile work in the Hebrew is meleket abora. Meleket, the root word for meleket is malaka. Malaka means labor, business, or work. A lot of people think servile work just constitutes work from the job. That's not all it constitutes, and that's all what it means. Because work from the job, housework, work in the house, no type of work, period, shall be done on this first day. Okay, because it is what you call a Shabbat. The first day is a Shabbat, which is what? A general strike, work stoppage. The 8th day is a Shabbat, which is general strike, work stoppage. So when we prepare, we make sure we prepare our food from the day before. We don't cook on this day. Why? Because it constitutes work. It takes work to do all that cutting and preparing. I gotta be washing pots out, washing this out. And we gotta remember the word hekinu. The word hekinu come from that word prepare. In Exodus 16, when the Most High said, prepare that what you're gonna prepare today.
You have to do it the day before.
It was talking about the Shabbat.
That's right.
Today, they don't use that word hekinu, but it says meleket abora, which is work or servitude. The only festive occasion that I read in the book where we cooked was on the Feast of Unleavened Bread, where it states, save which every man shall eat.
Right.
Okay? And if I'm not mistaken, that is in Exodus 12. Exodus 12, it says, save that which every man shall eat, which means, and that gives us the go ahead to cook on the first day and on the last day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, because we read it where it says, save which every man shall eat. So if you don't read certain things in the passage where it gives us the okay or the go ahead to cook, then it doesn't hurt not to cook. Prepare your food from the day before. It's best to be on the safe side with God. And why I say that like that is because we don't have no one here. We got people here to explain the law, but ain't nobody here that's inspired by God to explain those laws. Mm-hmm. And I don't need nobody here that's inspired by God to explain the law. You know why? I don't need it. Because I do what I read. I read what it says, and I do according to what it says. God has made it simple for us. God has made it simple for us. That's why he preserved this book. There is no other book that has been preserved so long than the Old Testament. Than this book. No book was preserved that long than the Old Testament. So it behooves us to follow these things. Follow the book. Don't come up with your own thoughts. Don't tell me what you think. Don't give me your opinions. Because none of that counts in the eyes of God. None of that counts. It don't count. Because it ain't God's thoughts. It's not how God thinks. It's not God's opinion. It's not what it says. So therefore, let's do what it says in that we according to what we read here. Okay, so now, where am I at? Okay, 7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire. So now during the feast of Tabernacles, on the first day, there's an offering that goes up by the priest. The priest got to send up an offering towards God. Okay? On the 8th day shall be a holy convocation, which is what? A holy gathering. What makes the gathering holy? By what you talk about.
That's right.
By what you talk about. That's what makes the gathering holy. All right? And ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a solemn assembly. A solemn assembly is a gathering for the purpose of worship. That's what a solemn assembly is. It's a solemn assembly. 8th day shall be a holy convocation unto you, and ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a solemn assembly, and ye shall do no servile work. There go that word again. Again, servile work in the Hebrew is melaka and abad. It constitutes work. Servile work means to serve. Okay? Labor, business, or work, or any type of work. These are the feasts. Okay, Numbers chapter 25. Let's go to Numbers 25.
Numbers chapter 25.
Uh-huh.
And Israel abode in Shittim.
And Israel abode in Shittim. Right? Shittim is a place in Israel, place of Israel, encampment between the conquest of the Transjordanic region and crossing the Jordan into Canaan land. Okay, Tom Sheep.
And Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab.
The people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. Now, there are many ways to commit whoredom before God. There's many ways to commit whoredom before God. Whoredom doesn't always constitute cohabitation between a man and a woman. Whoredom doesn't always have to constitute those things. There are other ways to commit whoredom before God. Okay, they began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. So when you look up the definition of began, right, it says halal. Halal means to profane themselves. They began or they started to profane themselves by dealing with these foreign women that serve gods of wood and stone. They defiled themselves by dealing with women that serve gods of wood and stone. They polluted themselves through sexual rituals by doing certain things, because Baal Peor is a female god. And there are certain things, there are certain abominable acts that constitutes worship, that show that falls under the order of the worship of Baal Peor. Okay? That is the same word that was used for Nimrod. Okay? Right. Nimrod profaned himself through sexual rituals by cohabitating with his own mother. And then she was conceived through Nimrod, and she had a son. That is the oldest Trinity. The Trinity been around since then. I said the Trinity been around since then. According to Greek mythology and Roman mythology, she got impregnated through the sun rays of the sun, because Nimrod resurrected to the sun, and she immaculately conceived through the sun rays. That story been around. Just like the so-called Mary, she called immaculate conception. Okay, by ghosts or by whatever it was she got conceived by. Okay, so whoredom. Let's go into the definition of what whoredom is, so we can learn and understand what is whoredom and what do we do or a person does when they commit whoredom before God. So whoredom, it means idolatry, first off. Okay, to go a-whoring, immorality. Okay, idolatrous pursuits. So immorality means what? Behavior that is wrong or goes against the standards of God. Standards of God of what is acceptable. Okay? Immorality is against the standards of morality. What is morality? Morality is beliefs and principles that defines what is considered right or wrong. So when we go against the morals that God set, we have committed whoredom before God. Okay. That is whoredom before God, because we're going against the rules and the principles of things that God has accepted. We're going against the principles that God does not accept. So when we do these things, that's called whoredom. You have committed whoredom before God, because whoredom means to go astray. You went astray somewhere. You're leaning towards something. You ain't leaning towards God. It's called unfaithfulness. All right? All right? Idolatry is what? Excessive devotion. Okay? You know what devotion is? Excessive devotion or immoderate attachment. Immoderate attachment is extreme or excessive attachment. Okay? You're so attached to whatever it is that you're attached to, you cannot let it go. You cannot let it go, not even for the sake of serving God, not even for the sake of God's law. A person will reiterate what God said, and they will come up with excuses why they can keep it. Because they themselves have not made their mind up to let go of whatsoever it is I need to let go to get close to my God. And that is the mind frame that we need to have. We need that mind frame. When you have that mind frame, you are able to let things go, whoever, for the sake of serving God. That's why the Creator said, love me with all my heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Because at a point in time, God is going to prove you with that, or with whatever you say you love. And if God feels that you are putting this before Him, He's going to put a decision. He's going to put the situation before you. Make you have to choose. Make you have to choose. Tom, see?
And the people began to commit whoredom.
Why you think God tried Abraham like that? Why you think God tried Abraham like that? And He tried him with His own son. God tried Abraham with His own son. And you don't think God knew He was going to do it? But He gives you a chance to choose. That's how God did. God gives us a chance to choose on our own. We don't serve a God that say, I know Khag's heart. He ain't going to do this. Let me put it before Him. Prove yourself and show me what you're going to choose. Now I can take you to myself. You don't think God knew what Abraham was going to choose, but He still put him through the test? God knows what you're going to choose. God knows what you're going to reject, but He's going to still put the decision to allow you to choose. He's going to put it before your face to allow you to choose. God deals with us according to our choices that we make in our lives. So our choices has to be correlated and linked in to God's choices. Our choices have to be acceptable towards what God accepts.
That's right, brother.
Tom sheet. Verse 2, right?
Yes.
Tom sheet.
Verse 2. And they called the people unto the sacrifices of their God.
And they called the people to the sacrifices of their gods. Now, according to Hebrew, you have masculine and feminine words. The noon makes the Hebrew word feminine. The mem Sophie makes the Hebrew word masculine. So when it said they called them to the sacrifices of their gods, it says Elohei with a noon at the end. Which means Baal Peor was a woman's god.
Right.
It was called Lord of the opening, Lord of the womb, Lord of the woman's opening. Okay, Tamshi.
And bowed down to their gods. And Israel joined himself unto Baal Peor.
And Israel joined themselves unto Baal Peor. How do you join yourself to idols and deities? The Hebrew word for join is zadeh memdalit. It means to attach. And Israel attached themselves. They binded themselves. They had joined it. It means to be connected, to be connected with. So how do we attach or bind or join ourselves to these things? It means to become involved in a profane activity. To be involved in a profane activity. So when you go to certain, this is why The Hebrew word for doings is kema'asehem. Kema'asehem means their doings. He said, don't follow their doings. Don't follow their practices. Don't follow their traditions. Don't follow their ordinances. Don't follow their celebrations. Don't follow their activities. Don't follow nothing that the nations round about do. Because when we follow them and join them and attend, God said you had joined and followed after idols. And this is one of the ways of following after the ways and the customs of the people's gods. Because you have attended their pagan celebrations and traditions. So when these pagan times come around, which is All Hallows Eve, which is a devil's day, don't put costumes on your kids and have them going outside talking about trick-or-treating. That's the devil's day. Don't go visiting your family during Thanksgiving, which is coming up next month. And the feelings and the desires and the emotions going to get stirred up within you because you haven't left off from those ways just as yet. And guess what? That is understood. But you can't fight. You got to fight fire with fire. When I say fight fire with fire, don't give in to those feelings and emotions that stirs up in you to lean you or turn you towards things that are ungodly. Lean you towards things that God don't accept. So, yes, you can be true. I know, listen, man. I still yearn to be around my family during these times. But I have realized that those days are abominable days, and God don't recognize those days. Those are profane days. So you have to fight yourself. You have to fight yourself. Thomas, what we at?
Verse 3. And Israel joined himself unto Baal Peor, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel.
Now we got at we done made God angry. We done made God angry. And what was the cause of his anger? Jealousy. We done made God jealous. Because we done left off from God to serve God as a wood and stone. We done left off from the things that God has given us, his ordinances, to take on ordinances of the heathens. You know what an ordinance is? An ordinance is an order. That's all it is. It's an order of how we do things. The same way we have an order, the heathens has an order. So we have to be careful of how